Joel made me better. Joel brightened my day. Joel was good to me. I've heard it said, if you want happiness for an hour, take a nap. If you want happiness for a day, go fishing. If you want happiness for a month, get married. If you want... I didn't say this, somebody else did. If you want happiness for a year, win the lottery. But if you want happiness for a lifetime, be good to people. But so often, we are praying for a miracle. We have to realize we can become someone's miracle. Look around at who God has put in your life. You may be their miracle. That man with the $40, he became a miracle for that young family wanting to go to the circus. That young man at the pharmacy, he became a miracle for that older gentleman. There may be miracles in your closet, miracles in storage, that furniture, that equipment, those outfits you're never going to wear again. You could give them to a friend and become their miracle. I was leaving Minute Maid Park a few years ago. The ball game had just ended. As I was driving off, it started to rain really hard. Thousands of people were coming out. It's a long walk to their cars. I couldn't do something for everyone, but I did have one umbrella in my back seat. Pulled over to the side, rolled down my window. Two ladies were running to their cars with their programs over their head. I said, here, have my umbrella. They couldn't believe it. One lady said, that's amazing. She just said, God, I wish I had an umbrella. I said, God must have heard you, because here it is. You can become someone's miracle. Well, Joel, I am not going to give away my umbrella to a total stranger. It cost me $22.95. Listen, you can't outgive God. The scripture says, give, and your gifts will come back to you, pressed down, shaken together, running over. When you're good to people, when you meet a need, when you become a miracle, God will make sure that you get paid back. Your gifts, your generosity, your kindness will come back to you. It's funny, I had had that umbrella forever. It was like 10 years old. It was cheap to begin with. It never did work right. But several months later, I was leaving a big hotel in another city. It was raining. The bellman had this big, fancy umbrella. It was two umbrellas combined. He walked us to our car. Just as I was about to close the door, he said, Joel, do you have an umbrella? I said, no, I don't. He shook it off and said, here, take this one. We got a bunch of them. I thought, God, you were so good. I gave up my old beat-up umbrella, and you gave me back a double wide. I can get my whole family out of this one. That's the way God is. You go around being good to people, and God will make sure that people are good back to you. I read a story about a young man that grew up very poor in a small city. He would go door to door selling different items to try to pay his way through college. At one point, he only had a dime to his name. He was so hungry, he hadn't eaten properly in a couple of days. He got his nerve up. The next house he knocked on, he was going to ask them for something to eat. A very attractive young lady answered the door, about 16 years old. When he saw how beautiful she was, he lost his nerve and wouldn't ask for anything. She said, young man, you look like you're starving. You look like you're so hungry. Can I get you something to eat? He said, no, I just like a drink of water. She went in, brought him back a big glass of cold milk. He thought he had won the lottery. He hadn't had milk in the longest time, couldn't ever remember being able to drink a whole glass. He drank it down all in one big gulp. Felt so refreshed and re-energized. Reached in his pocket for the 10 cents to pay the young lady. She said, no, you don't owe me anything. My mother taught me to never accept pay for an act of kindness. Years later, that young lady became seriously ill. She was treated in the local hospital in the small town, but doctors couldn't find out what was wrong with her. They sent her away to the big city, to the leading specialist, a man named Dr. Howard Kelly. When Dr. Kelly saw on her chart the city she was from, he was very intrigued. He rushed down to her room, took one look at her, and immediately recognized her. Dr. Kelly took on this case personally, went to great lengths to do everything he could to make sure she got well. She Sure enough, 4 months later, she had totally recovered and was ready to leave the hospital. Dr. Kelly requested that his business office send the bill through him personally so he could approve. The woman dreaded looking at the bill, knowing that it would probably take her her lifetime to pay it off. But when she opened that bill, Dr. Kelly had written in big letters, paid in full with 1 glass of cold milk. Here's my point. When you're kind to people in their time of need, God will make sure somebody will be kind to you in your time of need. Your gifts will come back to you. Every opportunity you have, be good to people. You don't know why God has put that person in your path. It's not a coincidence. God has strategically lined up every person, every detail, every step in your life. Now do your part. Don't miss an opportunity to do good. Even small things, giving a glass of cold milk, giving somebody a ride, letting them use your cell phone. Well, you say, Joel, I've got my own challenges. I'm dealing with this health issue, but these problems in my finances. I didn't come all the way out here to hear about being good to people. I want somebody to be good to me. No, you've got to sow a seed. Psalm 37 says, trust in the Lord and do good. Most of us know how to trust. We're believing for a breakthrough, believing for healing, believing for a promotion. We've got the trusting down. Now we've got to move on to step 2 and be good to somebody. Be a blessing. If you will become a miracle, that is the seed God will use for your own miracle. But in difficult times, it's easy to fall into self-pity and think about my problems and can't believe this is happening. I don't understand it. No, get your mind off yourself and go out and be a blessing to someone. Being good to people in your time of need is one of the most powerful things you can do. Don't let that difficulty cause you to become ingrown and sour. I don't feel like doing it. No, shake it off and go out and be a blessing. The medical report may not look good, but don't you sit around at home all day and just think about it. Get out of the house and go cheer up that neighbor. If you can't leave, bake some cookies and give it to the mailman. If you can't get out of bed, at least pick up the phone and go call and encourage a friend. When God sees you not only trusting, but doing good to people, that's when he promises your gifts will come back. Your kindness will be returned. You'll not only come out, you'll come out better off than you were before. There was a lady that owned a coffee shop in another state, a drive-through business. One morning, a customer pulled in and ordered her coffee. When she went to pay, she said, I want to pay not only for my coffee, but for the coffee of the person behind me, a total stranger. The next car pulled up. The owner said with a big smile, your coffee is free today. The lady in front of you bought it for you. The man was pleasantly surprised. He said, well, I want to buy the coffee of the person behind me. Total stranger. This string continued for over 2 hours and more than 80 customers. What am I saying? Being good to people is contagious. When you go out of your way to show kindness, you start a chain reaction. You compliment someone, puts them in a good mood, and they compliment someone else, on and on. There are enough chain reactions in the negative. They're rude to me, I'm upset, I'm going to be rude to somebody. No, let's start some chain reactions of kindness. Chain reactions of being good to people. Not waiting for special occasions. No, I heard you're going on a trip. Let me run you up to the airport so you don't have to pay that money for parking. Your generosity will not only bless that person, it's not only a seed for God to bless you, but it's contagious. It will inspire them to be good to others.